What's up YouTube? Capital G here. Got a ridiculous replay to show you guys, and one that is absolutely lolzy. This one shows off the potential of Predator Plants. If you guys don't know what they are, Predator Plants is a new archetype that's going to be released in Invasion Vengeance. That is the set that comes after the Dark Illusion. So let's see, we're in August now. We'll be seeing this booster pack in like roughly 3 months, so like November-ish, and it shows you what exactly the deck can do. Predator Plants are all about adjusting your opponent's monsters levels and then kind of you being able to take advantage of that. But Grand Shabadungo has found some ways to exploit it even further. That's who sent me this video. If you guys don't know who Grand Shabadungo is, not only is he one of my homeboys, but he's a moderator on my Twitch stream, and he has his own YouTube channel. He is always playing these crazy ass ridiculous decks where no one knows what the hell he's doing, but like crazy shit always happens. If you guys ever saw that field where the Heraldic Beast put like almost 50,000 or a little over 40,000 damage on board, like he was the one playing in that match, and he was my tag partner, and he's the one that did that. And honestly, he has his own YouTube channel. He's kind of like the new Yu-Gi-Oh for real men. If you guys like watching just crazy archetypes that you would never play and just seeing them do absolutely crazy sick shit, definitely you have to subscribe to his channel. I'm going to have it linked in the description, and he's also in my sub box, so he's always posting like deck profiles of these lesser known archetypes and kind of showing off the crazy plays that they can do. So let's go ahead and roll this. So Grand Shabadungo is playing against an interesting deck. He's playing against Fluffles, but it also has some Metaphors mixed in. Honestly, I've never seen Fluffles and Metaphors incorporated into the same deck, but at this point, I kind of feel like you can put anything and Metaphors and it can work. I feel like Metaphors can just kind of incorporate anything. We've seen Yang Zings work really well with them because the scales are super wide and you can blow up your own Yang Zings and trigger them. Same thing with kind of like, same thing goes with like Magic Specters because it gives you easy access to like Karen being able to normal summon the raccoon and then pendulum summon. Also, Metaphors really don't use their normal summon. That's why so many decks work inside of them, because there's nothing good than normal summon in Metaphors. Like, you want to blow your own stuff up and then pendulum summon. So he does a pretty solid play with the whole, Fluffle Dog gets his searching on. Then he's going to obviously summon Fight for Sheep, which is a really good floating monster against things like Regeki and potential battle. It is a built-in Armades as well. And, maybe I would have liked to see a Rafflesia here, but outside of that, I think the play was really solid. Also, if Gold Driver gets blown up, I mean, it's just going to come back next turn anyway. So I think this was a pretty solid hand, or a pretty solid play. Grand Shabadungo opens up with Lone Fire Blossom. Predator Plants are all obviously plants, so you're going to run Lone Fire Blossom. Now he summons a copy of Dressera, which is kind of like really one of the cards that gets this deck rolling. Dressera, if it leaves the field, you place a Predator counter on every face-up monster on the field that was special summon, which if you look at this guy's field is pretty much like everything. Monsters that are level 2 or higher end up becoming level 1, and that's kind of how Predator Plants work. You basically want to get counters on your opponent's monsters, you want to make them level 1s, and then Predator Plants have ways of exploiting that. But Grand Shabadungo is kind of up the ante, and he's running cards that can exploit it even harder. Now the thing about it is, he is kind of countered here, because if you look, obviously this thing is not going to leave the field face up. It's not going to, its effect will be negated by the Fight for Sheep. So technically Grand Shabadungo doesn't really have a way of triggering this thing as of right now. Like, he'll get wrecked by, the sheep, and it just won't work. So he goes for, like, he blows up his combination, and then he pendulum summons, gets a copy of Metaphors' Fusion, gets Orihawk out. He's ready to basically kill Grand Shabadungo, but Grand Shabadungo is smart enough to know that this deck doesn't have a whole lot of sustain. There are no real floating monsters, like when it could, like, there are no, it's not like a monsters that just like, float for days, not Burning Abyss or anything like that. So he activates Threatening Roar. And then during the end phase, after Sword of Consuming Light was played, he activates Call to Haunted to get his Lone Fire Blossom. Lone Fire Blossom, obviously, again, will pretty much get the entire Predator Plant archetype. Now, at this point, he's able to turn Orihawk into a level 1 because, again, Orihawk was special summoned, so he's able to take Orihawk's level, and he just runs into it and blows it up. That's pretty cool, but at the same time, he's really not doing much to actually stop, this guy's field. Grand Shabadungo is just kind of stalling at this point. He activates Owl's Effect, goes for Saber Tiger, and then he just brings the sheep back, and then he pendulum summons, and I mean, lo and behold, this dude has 5 monsters on the board. Like, even though one day a piece was played, Grand Shabadungo is probably going to lose next turn. This thing is not going to save him. Obviously, it dies. The effect doesn't activate because this is on Armades. And now Grand Shabadungo is going to do his play. So watch this. He activates Junk Synchron. He ended up milling a copy of Possessed Dark Soul off of the tuning that he used to get Quick Draw Synchron. So that's how he got that into the graveyard. He does synchro. Now the thing is, since he actually sent this to the graveyard, then its effect is going to trigger, and every monster on the field that was special summoned, which is basically everything except the Fluffle Dog, it's going to become level 1. So check this out. You see it's going to activate. It checks everything on the field, and just about everything becomes level 1. He then activates then activates Oasis of the Dragon Soul to get this card, and the whole reason that this card is actually relevant now is because of Predator Plants. See, the thing about Possessed Dark Soul is it lets you tribute it, and then you take every single monster that your opponent controls that is level 3 or lower. This does not target, so even if your opponent had 3 Dark Destroyer and a Dark Eclipser, you could literally Snatch Steal their entire field. And just check this out, like, oh, you had 5 monsters on field? No, you don't. Give me all your shit. Like, literally, you just Snatch Steal your opponent's entire field and then kill them. So this is what this deck can actually do. Like, this is what if you actually can somehow pull the combo off, that's essentially what you can do. It requires you obviously to use Dracera, and then you have to obviously, you know, be able to summon Possessed Dark Soul and hope that it doesn't get like Effect Veilered or Solemn Stricken or something like that, Solemn Struck or something like that. But if you pull it off, you basically take, you know, a good portion of your opponent's monsters. Now they have to be special summon monsters, but in Yu-Gi-Oh today, outside of like Monarchs, that's pretty much everything in the game. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter with if the monster's in defense mode. It doesn't matter if it, you know, the attacks of the monster. Really, all that matters is the level. Now, with that being said, since it does target, you know, or since it does only work on monsters with certain levels, this will not work on Xyz because obviously they have rank. So if you're not playing against like, you know, PK Fire or something like that, this could definitely work on like Cosmo and, you know, anything that's like fusion based, which obviously Fluffles are. So, you know, whole field ends up getting Snatch Steal. How competitive this will be, I don't know, but I still think it's pretty cool to show it off, because honestly, when I saw Predator Plants, I was like, man, these are really niche. Like, how are we supposed to use this? But then, you know, Grand Shavadango discovered this card, and it's like, wow, this card actually has a purpose now. So thank you guys for watching. As always, don't get your whole field Snatch stolen.